price of Bitcoin dropped today after Israel reportedly launched missile strikes against Iran. Later tonight, there's another event which could affect the price of the currency, the Bitcoin halving. Joining me now is Pav Hundal, lead market analyst at Swyftx. Pav, can we just quickly start with today's fall in price due to that uncertainty in the Middle East? How quickly does Bitcoin react to global news?
Sentiment is everything, I guess, in this day and age. It really does come down to a lot of factors, but specifically speaking, for our market, our industry, the longer term aspect hasn't still really changed. The fundamentals are really still what they are yesterday. So while there might be changes, blips in the short term, the longer term outlook for Bitcoin fundamentally really hasn't changed.
All right, then looking ahead to tonight, this is the big anticipated Bitcoin halving event. Can you just explain to viewers what it actually is, how it works?
Yeah, quite simply put, Bitcoin, it's the largest digital asset by market cap. It's an object of scarcity. So as time progresses, there's less and less of it. Its purchasing power basically increases. So the halving, in a sense, what it does, it basically does that. It reduces the amount of new Bitcoin entering the market by 50%, basically overnight. It's programmed into the code. So that's kind of what's captivated a lot of investors, the imagination of, I guess, a lot of people trying to, build their own portfolios. And we've seen that sort of, the proof is in the pudding with the recent launch and success of the US ETFs as well, which have been pretty active on the buy side as well. So that in a nutshell is basically, what we have to look forward to.
Yeah, so it happens every 4 years. Like historically, what has the halving, usually done for Bitcoin prices in the sort of 6 to 12 months after the halving event?
6 to 12 months, historically speaking, there has been what we'd expect to see, quite impressive returns for investors. But again, like any investment, it does come with its inherent risks. So just sort of weighing that up, person to person, that's always advised. But we're excited. Like you said, every 4 years, it's like the Olympics for us. We're just sort of ushering in, the next wave of adoption, understanding what is this type of investment class, and it really does offer a different ways of storing your wealth compared to what's traditionally available in the markets today.
Yeah, you mentioned this a second ago, but how significant for Bitcoin and just cryptocurrencies in general has been the onset of those crypto ETFs from the US, which kicked off at the start of this year?
Oh, it's been outstanding. We just look at since January 11th, when they were greenlit, started trading on the exchanges. The net movement has been the acquirement of 220,000 Bitcoin held by these entities. And in comparison, there's only really been just under 90,000 new Bitcoin created. So, if we see this persistent level of demand or any increase, and moving into the halving where we're going to see half the amount of new Bitcoin entering supply, that really sets up the stage for what's to come for the next, like you mentioned, 6 to 12 months, even 18 months, as we sort of look at Bitcoin's long-term horizon.
Yeah, so with the halving itself, miners are now going to be paid 50% less in Bitcoins for creating a new block on the blockchain. Due to that sort of less amount of money being paid, is that going to reduce the demand or the viability of crypto mining companies? Are they going to be less interested now in mining Bitcoins due to this halving?
Look, I think, again, the way I see it, they're more sophisticated in terms of mining operations now than they ever have been. There's quite a few of these companies that are now on the US stock exchange. They have investors, they have earning targets, they're projecting forward. They've been planning for this as well. So, it's not something that they're going to all of a sudden overnight be panicking. A lot of these bigger players, rather than the average consumer that's mining in their garage, they've been planning for this for some time now, so there will be some strategies I'm sure that they've put into play, and the market's obviously priced in, this event potentially leading up to into the halving. And again, speaking back to what we've seen historically, short term there always has been volatility leading up to and after the halving, but again, it's that long-term outlook. The whole reason Bitcoin has its intrinsic value. That's what the halving is all about, and why we get so excited every 4 years.
And would you just say, just finally, just broadly looking at Bitcoin and crypto today compared to 5 years ago, has it gone from basically becoming more of a mainstream investment class now?
Yeah, look, I think so. At Swyftx, we do see it, I guess, even within our user base. This sort of phase of the market, we are seeing more buyers and sells at the moment. I think the current ratio is sitting about 6-to-1 buys to sells. So that tells us that the Aussie investor, they are seeing this as a store of value, even in this sort of time of, you could call it uncertainty, just with inflation, interest rates, and again, like geopolitical tensions, which we can never predict. But it seems like the average Aussie consumer still sees value, and they do obviously have some sort of long-term outlook of Bitcoin being a part of their long-term portfolios.
Well, Pav Hundal from Swyftx, thanks so much for your time this afternoon.